So I had a friend who asked me for advice about his sister who came home from middle school one day and decided that she was a transsexual or gender non-binary or whatever the fuck. And now she has come home from school saying "eat the rich," and he had to explain to her how in communist societies, when people eat the rich, then they end up eating each other, and poor people are not virtuous. You know, being poor is often way more often a sign that you're stupid than a sign that you have been disenfranchised. And also, almost all young people are poor regardless. So really, you want to look at people who have a shit life when they're 50, and that's almost entirely the cause of bad decisions and just being low IQ and doing drugs and doing crime. So it's like, if you look at somebody who does things for the world that are of value, that is the definition of wealth. So anyway, his sister has been, infused with these stupid ass leftist beliefs that ruin people's lives and convince them to commit atrocities and that kind of thing. And he's asking me what to do, and a lot of people ask what to do in this type of situation. At a certain point, you just got to let the retards breathe themselves out of existence, because here's the thing, right? If somebody believes that kind of shit, they are disconnected from reality. There's not much you can do to bring a person who is disconnected from reality to reality voluntarily. The amount of mental gymnastics, personality disorders, cognitive dissonance, jumping through logical hoops, mental gymnastics, word salad that these people have to go through to convince themselves that they're anything more than a delusional psycho is absurd. Like, if you are a rational human being, you literally cannot understand these people's thought process because it is so backwards and alien by the nature of the shit they believe. You just can't understand it. So these people, and it has nothing to do with intelligence. In fact, I would say probably intelligent people, like college-age people who go to college, people of 115 to 130 IQ, are probably more likely to have this problem because it's in the air. We've let enough bad genetics into the population that this thing is commonplace. These people are defining a narrative. And this is not going to end well, but while it's still going on, you just got to let a hoe be a hoe, right? Like, you just got to ignore these people, and it sucks because they are becoming intellectuals. They are becoming positions of authority. Most people can't tell the difference between a position of authority and a genuinely intelligent person. And because idiots, basically delusional people, are occupying a lot of positions of authority, of intellectual authority and financial authority, and sociocultural authority that people generally rely on. Like, stupid people cannot tell the difference between a Marxist and an intelligent, rational human being. So these people get pats on the back and they get told, you're going to college, you're so smart, you went 6 figures in debt, etc. Right? Let them car crash their life in slow motion, because that's where those ideas lead to. Just let them do it. Understand that a lot of these people are not going to have children. This is probably not going to last more than 3 or 4 generations, but we rational folk were lucky enough to be born in a generation where the evolutionary bottleneck has been dramatically altered. A lot of these people would have died of poor genetics in any pre-industrial society. What we're seeing right now is a group of people occupying enough of a mainstream position to influence normies, basically, who want to be polite and adhere to these people's beliefs. Basically, people who aren't strongly opinionated bend to these people's beliefs, even though they're wrong, because most people cannot tell the difference between good ideas and bad ideas. So when people are vehemently, vitriolically spewing bad ideas, even though they're ridiculous and logically fallacious, stupid people are going to believe it because they feel like this person is in pain. I need to agree with them to help their cause. And that's boomers, that's Gen, millennial, a lot of millennials, and a lot of millennials are histrionic, trannies, and Marxists too. You're just going to have to deal with it and just realize that these people are sick. They were brought into this world, and they were never supposed to make it past their first winter. But because of the advent of technology, they were basically allowed to live. They are dysfunctional people. The people who agree with them are too stupid. They're Nietzschean Untermensch. They're too stupid to tell what these people are saying is basically mental illness and period blood mixed together. And just cortisol and, entitlement and bad parenting and childhood trauma and feedback loops on the internet. All this shit conspires to make these people what they are, and they are not going to last more than 100 years in this society in their current form because it's unsustainable. But while they're here, just ignore them. Let them have their moment. Let Caitlyn Jenner cut his balls off. It doesn't matter. Like, just let these people be crazy, and just know that your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren are very likely not going to have to deal with this shit. So and nature will take care of that all by itself in the same way it takes care of all other weird, dysfunctional genetics that are the result of a broken evolutionary bottleneck. So.